All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your Monday weekly webinar here from Market Inflections and Sang Lucci. You got myself, Lucci, and Alex Bernal here from Market Inflections. And again, we are throwing out just some free trades here that we do every single week, and also some trades that have worked, some trades that we have put on, where we can explain and show some of these signals in action. And again, these signals you'll get access to when you subscribe to Turning Point Signals. Basically, you will get stock trades, equity trades, options trades as well as spread trades too. So last week we actually did a lot of credit spread trades, where we were booking premiums on names that really have been bought up pretty well. And I'll go ahead and show those examples as well. But Alex, let's go ahead and get right into this. Why don't we show the first one of the day is the ULTA. This was a big compression that you found. And I believe daily compression here on the ULTA, guys. Again, this is a makeup stock. We were talking about this as a free trade I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. And what do we get? Like 20-point move out of this thing, man?
Yeah, we got a nice move. We mentioned that it had a top signal, which isn't necessarily a short signal, but if you were long, it's not a bad calculated spot to take some profits. It was sort of a comparator to the price line, which is a very similar pattern. I didn't know if you wanted to kind of show that side by side as something that could potentially happen on these top extensions.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, you can even tell too when you get these tops here, just like Alex was saying, it's not necessary that these things just reverse. It's just kind of they slow down. And when they slow down, these are great places to sell premium. Now, we're also going to give you examples, though, where some of these signals just get run over here, which is the case with NVIDIA and certain situations like that. So these are the places that you really need to be cautious taking some of these things. And again, that's a level of expertise that we offer for you in Turning Point Signals here. So this would have been a great sell call spread here just for short term while this thing kind of slows down, because at the moment when these moves are juiced up, these call premiums are very high. So you can get very, very juicy premiums up here. We're talking about $1, $2. Remember, this is a $300 stock. So you can go out to $320 here and get some really great premium. Your timing got to be on point. But again, that's something that we help you out with our expertise as well as these signals here. All right, so moving on here, ULTA, that was a great one. What else we got here, Alex? We got the, let's see, we got the EWZ here. What's going on?
Yeah, this was sort of an obscure ETF that someone mentioned maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just wanted to point this out. It's had a pretty nice move since we found this signal for you guys, or basically highlighted it. I didn't trade it, but now this is probably going to be on my radar a little bit more since I know how well it moves.
Yeah, we were also talking about some call flow that came in here as well. Again, with these compressions, both Alex and I, again, we decide that, okay, the straddle is the best place to go. Sometimes if you have a name that you really know in particular and can really move out of these consolidation periods, sometimes it's okay to go with the strangles. But again, you got to make sure you have time, on your options if you're playing those options. Sometimes it's also beneficial to just wait until these breakouts. This EWZ it's very gappy, as you can see, and it's very volatile. So, to play with the options is extremely difficult too because it's very illiquid. So you got to also know what you're trading, and that's another level of expertise that you're going to get from us when you receive your signals from Turning Point Signals here. So EWZ, that was pretty sweet. Let's go to the monster here. Let's go to the monster price line, and let's see what's up with this price line. Price line, as you guys know, has been quite bullish as of late. Had a big compression here. This was pre-earnings. And then all these tops came in, and then bam, look at us now. Stock closed at 1813. These call options up here were very juiced up. The problem is most of this move here was off of earnings here. Alex, what you got on this price line?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good example of the comparator against, Ulta. I don't think Ulta is going to make a move, but it's a very similar structure. If you just hide the ticker symbol, it was kind of almost the same trade where you had a compression that led to a new trend breakout, and then they hit extensions. So those extensions in this case, caused a reversal, but it was a good time to where we knew exactly when to get long this, and we knew exactly when to take profits on both sides. So
indeed. And Priceline, guys, is a beast. So the premiums here that you can juice on this thing. You know what I love to do is when these compressions, let's say, start breaking out and you actually get a trend, what I love to do is just sell premium on the trend, which is exactly what I've been doing on Win, Netflix, Baba, the Apple, all these names here that are trending up, the Microsoft here as well, the Nvidia. These names are just great to just scrape premium every single week. These things all have weeklies. Once you get a trend move, it's really, really solid. This is where you really make the bang for your buck. When you're selling premium, once you get a trend move here. All right, let's move on to the big boy here. This is the IWM. Let's see what's going on. IWM here, indexes. This is where everybody wants to be. Obviously, you guys see the SPY at 240 right now. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Alex, set them up here for the IWM.
So you can see you got that big cluster back in April, and it took a little while for it to make a move. It made basically a pretty nice move towards new highs, higher lows, higher highs. When you see this kind of clustering like that, what it really tells you is it's not really a daily signal. It's something bigger than that. So it just comes from using this tool for as long as I have. So it's kind of developing still. Remember, most of the Russell 2000 is banks, financial companies. So that's something to key off of here with this IWM. The other one that I found very similar nature is the IJR, which is the mid cap. Okay. So you're getting some of those smaller cap blended parts of the market are getting ready to move. We've already saw the tech giants and the ultra large caps already kept trucking through to new highs, right? So this could be kind of a slingshot play where these are going to catch up again.
Right. What would you say about a name that compresses once, it kind of breaks and then compresses again? Do you usually see reversals here? Do you still go with the straddle, or do you get more bias, when you see them again?
Just considering the flow and how the market's behaving, just personally, I think we're going higher. If I were to see, this actually have a lot of selling leading into this signal, I would be more cautious. But you could already see that the last part of last month was pretty aggressively buying it, and now it's basically re-signaled that this is going to go again. So it's just, to me, it's just tipping the scale to a bit higher. This CRUS is part of that mid-cap index. This is a Apple supplier, so this is again a similar play to what we just highlighted that happened in Ulta or happened in Priceline, where you get a really strong Momo stock. It's a compression at or basically near its all-time high. So it's just rinse and repeat, with some of these plays.
Yeah, absolutely. And to harp on that point where you're saying with the mid caps and stuff like that, we've seen markets where you have leadership, from some of the large caps, techs, whatever they are. And then it moves, and then it moves. So even if, and if you notice today, there was a little bit of a slowdown here on some of the big tech names. We're going to talk about Nvidia in a second here. That is the least one slowing down. But if you notice the Googles, the Amazons of the world, most of these stocks, actually the Google I think was up a little bit today. But you notice most of these names here are kind of stalled out. Banks here stalled out as well. And the juice just kind of went elsewhere. It just went elsewhere all across the day. Netflix here again. So we are seeing some topping signals on some of these, but I would say since the market is still quite bullish, I would say the move here is to just sell some calls. And again, Nvidia here is extreme example here. Finally, we're getting a top tick here on the Nvidia, but this is a name here that has squeeze potential still. And Goldman Sachs went out and put a friggin' $165 price target on the damn thing. Wow. At some point you're going to get a massive washout. And guys, the premium that you can get on Nvidia on the freaking call side, you ain't going to believe it, man. This shit is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You go out to June here, look at this 160. You're still getting fat 50 cents here. Stuff that is close to the money, 140, you're getting $3, $2 for this stuff. This is fat premium that you usually never see on NVIDIA here. So keep that in mind. Again, you don't want to go here and try to find the freaking top tick. That is not what you want to do, and you're not going for a short here. You're just going for a fade on some of these call premiums, which is going to end up to be quite a trade. So I am definitely going to be looking for that going forward there on the NVIDIA, and the same thing, with some of the Amazons and all that stuff. All right, moving on.
I mean, the chip stocks have been so hot. I mean, today there was actually another signal in a similar stock, Applied Materials. So I would not be surprised if these stocks just take a breather. There's been so much flow into chip stocks now with AI and deep learning and all this stuff coming down the pipe, Internet of Things. There's kind of been a little over enthusiasm in the sector. So, one of the ways I like to play this is to just make an option trade that at least takes a pause for 30 days or something like that, right? So
right.
You can see the last time this had a bunch of clustering tops in right before April, you could see it didn't quite go down, but it had a nice sideways consolidation,
yep.
right, in the March 13th. So you see why this is a good example of one of my favorite trades is to sell iron flies. So if you would have sold the 39 calls and puts and then maybe bought the 41s and 37s or something,
yep.
You could let that enthusiasm suck out for you, and maybe lay it up again here at the 44.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these are great premium writing strategies here off these signals, which we do send out quite often now, and we're starting to send out a lot more often because this is more the ideal trade right now in this sort of low volatility kind of environment here. All right, moving on here to the dreaded pharma names, which I still hate. Let's go ahead and take a look at this XBI, still in consolidation, just like the IBB. What are we thinking here? But I even went back to that Gilead. The Gilead had to move to like 70. It hit freaking 70. I go to look at it today, and it's a freaking 65 bucks. I'm like, this piece of shit is it just can't stop. It'll never stop.
Yeah, Gilead's not going to be the catalyst here. I think it's the Celgene that's probably going to pull this thing out of its rut. I've been watching both of these really closely, and to be honest, since there's some overlap with biotechs and pharmaceuticals, I actually think the pharmaceutical companies are going to be the ones that lead the actual biotechs higher. So Regeneron was basically one of the top pharma names I've been watching. So it's slow to start here. You could tell there's still something keeping people from committing to this position, but I think we're still going to make a pretty big move here.
Yeah. And again, guys, like for me, we tried the IBB. We actually did try the IBB. It just kind of it failed basically. The IBB straddle that we put on, it worked for a little bit. We were up a little bit on this move to 300 bucks. Again, we were looking for a real big break out of this consolidation. And you can see this thing back at 294 here. Now, we had both sides, and again, this is the lesson to be learned with the straddles here. If you're going to straddle something that's in consolidation and you're looking for a big move outside of the range, you got to get enough time, number one, and the smartest thing to do is not let go of either side. Now, this could backfire. This could backfire if you don't have enough time on your options. So keep that in mind when you're doing a straddle. And the more time you buy, obviously, the more expensive it is going to be. But again, the risk is lower. And once you get your move, it ain't going to matter. I mean, even if you're 3 months out, you're still going to get paid well. You're still going to get paid very handsomely for a move. You take a look at this IBB for the last 2 freaking years. I think there's a monster move here that kind of happened from 340. It is still possible. Could it end up going back to 260? Absolutely. So I'd still recommend the straddle play for any of you guys that are still trading the bios here. So let's take a look at one last one here. Let's take a look at the XLF. I'm already long some Citigroup. Citigroup is performing a little bit better than most of the other names right now, but most of them look like this. Most of them have these compressions here. JP Morgan does, and the XLF has a really big one. And, XLF is a large portion, these financials are a large portion of the market. So, Alex, why don't you go ahead and set us up on the XLF here?
I mean, if you just go back to zooming out, you could basically see the last time this structure signaled like that. So you know, we don't know how many repetitions might happen, but that the outcome is pretty clear. We can get a, you know, $4 or $5 move here in XLF perhaps. Again, I'm sort of biased to the upside, but
Yeah.
very much can go both ways.
Yeah, yeah. So far, the options flow here that we poured over from Wall Street Jesus has all been very bullish. You know, the financial names, Bank of America in particular, we're seeing buyers back to, you know, 25, 26, 27 on this thing. Citigroup, you know, way out there to $70. We're seeing flow here. You know, so it's still possible, but again, this market is pretty dry right now, so you know, we'll have to wait to see some of the leadership. So remember to buy some time here on your options. I think we have one more trade here for you guys. This was the IBR, or is that it right there?
The only other one I was going to say is the XTR.
Okay.
You know, with kind of there's people calling the next big short is either mall REITs or, you know, the continued destruction of or I think it's XRT, excuse me.
Yeah, XRT. That was
XRT Weekly. You know, some of these retail companies are in a pretty strong position, meaning they're not in financial distress. But there's definitely a problem where if Nordstrom starts pulling out of all these malls, it basically means everybody else is fucked, right? So.
Especially Macy's and JCPenney and all this kind of other stuff. So absolutely. And the interesting thing, though, guys, and I'll throw a little gimme out there for you, was some of the flow that we saw in XRT today. You know, a lot of it was for weeklies, though, if you notice, for next week here. So they're looking for a bounce here, a little bit at least, on this XRT. Not sure why here, but you know, we'll slowly see that. Kind of grow here over the next couple of days. Again, that's the level of expertise that you're going to get when you subscribe here to marketinflections.com and Turning Point Signals here. So again, we just shoot out trades here that can either be credit spreads, they can either be you know, long swings. Most of them are long swings. We'll have a couple day trades here and there. You know, if I'm feeling really, really good about something and I'm in something myself. You know, but most of them are swings that you can expect to hold for a week or 2 weeks. Again, go to marketinflections.com and you will get all your different packages here. If you want to inquire about the actual software, maybe you have your own strategy that you feel like this, you know, these signals may help you out with. You know, you can go ahead and click that Learn More button and reach out to us, and someone will reach out to you and give you a demo of the software as well. But again, $249 gets you in for the Turning Point Signals. And again, you get two to three signals per week. Option strategies, equities as well. You get the email as well as the private Twitter feed, and we are launching an instance of the chat room basically for Market Inflections. So we're going to work and build out custom, you know, custom solutions basically where you can see all your alerts, the track record, and everything. And you can get me on the broadcast or Alex on the broadcast as well. Webinars will be done right inside the platform. You can chat with other users on how they use the signals as well. So we are growing here at marketinflections.com. Come check it out. Alex, any last words for these guys?
Not much. Get excited. A lot of stuff happening.
All right. Take care, everybody.